Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gameholics. Today, we're counting down the top 10 hardest bosses in gaming history. These are the battles that tested our patience, shattered our controllers, and left us questioning our skills. Before we begin, please like and subscribe to never miss future content. Let's dive right in. Starting off at number 10, we have General Raam from Gears of War. This hulking locust general is infamous for his towering frame and unrelenting tactics. Protected by swarms of Kryll vicious bat-like creatures that shield him from damage, and the Darkram forces you to use light as your only defense. However, staying in the light exposes you to his deadly Troika turret. The fight takes place on a moving train, heightening the tension as Kryll swarm the area when darkness falls. Players must balance using grenades, precise sniping, and strategic movement to expose Raam's vulnerability. His brutal combination of offense and defense makes him a nightmare for newcomers and veterans alike. At number 9, we've got Seph from World of Warcraft. This old god resides in the Temple of Entourage and is a master of psychological and mechanical warfare. Upon his release, Seph was literally unbeatable due to broken mechanics. Even after patches, he remains one of the most punishing raid bosses. His attacks include tentacles that spawn across the room, beams that obliterate multiple players at once, and an ability to swallow players into his stomach where they must fight their way out while under constant assault. Coordinating a full 40-player raid required near-perfect communication and execution. Every step in this fight is a test of focus, and for many guilds, defeating Seph was the ultimate badge of honor. Coming in at number 8 is the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. This enigmatic figure wields immense power as Gwyn's firstborn son and a former ally of dragons. The fight begins on the Stormdrake's back, where players must dodge fiery breath and sweeping attacks while landing precise hits. Once the Drake falls, the true battle begins. The Nameless King wields a lightning spear and devastating sword combos that test every aspect of player skill, from timing and spacing to stamina management. His unpredictable delays in attack patterns throw off even the most seasoned players, making this fight a brutal yet exhilarating experience. Text.
I am Malenia, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
Placing at number 7 is Malenia, Blade of Mikola from Elden Ring. Known for her ethereal beauty and unrelenting ferocity, Malenia is infamous for her lifesteal ability. She heals every time she lands a hit, even against shields. Her first phase demands mastery of dodging and precise counterattacks. But the fight doesn't end there. In her second phase, she transforms into the Goddess of Rot, unleashing massive scarlet rot-infused attacks that can overwhelm even the best-prepared players. Her devastating waterfall dance, a rapid multi-hit combo, is one of the deadliest moves in the game. Malenia's duality as both a graceful warrior and an unstoppable force makes her a legendary challenge. At number 6 is Sans from Undertale. This boss flips the script by turning the normally simplistic combat system into a chaotic bullet hell challenge. Sans attacks relentlessly with gravity-defying projectiles, unpredictable patterns, and environmental hazards that push players to their limits. Text. Unlike other bosses, Sans dodges every attack, forcing you to survive his grueling onslaught for an extended period. What makes this fight even more intense is the emotional weight behind it. Fighting Sans requires choosing the genocidal path, making every hit feel personal. Players who finally manage to defeat him are often left with a bittersweet sense of accomplishment. Halfway through the list at number 5, we have Absolute Radiance from Hollow Knight. This fight is the ultimate test of precision, endurance, and adaptability. The Radiance's attacks fill the screen with deadly beams, orbs, and spikes, leaving minimal room for error. The battle is divided into multiple phases, each more intense than the last, culminating in an airborne segment that demands flawless platforming skills. Adding to the challenge, players must defeat the previous boss, the Pure Vessel, to even access the Radiance, making this encounter a marathon of patience and perseverance. At number 4, it's the legend himself, Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! This retro gaming icon is notorious for his lightning-fast reflexes and one-hit knockouts. Tyson's attack patterns are randomized, forcing players to rely on split-second timing to dodge his punches. His unpredictability means you can't simply memorize patterns. You have to stay alert and adapt in real time. For many players, defeating Tyson was the ultimate test of gaming skill in the Nazira. At number 3 is Darkeater Midir from Dark Souls 3. This colossal dragon is a relentless foe with one of the largest health pools in the series. Midir's fire breath covers vast areas, and his tail swipes and charging attacks are deceptively fast for his size. His resistance to most damage types and punishing counterattacks force players into an exhausting battle of attrition. Even experienced players often find themselves struggling to land consistent damage without taking devastating hits in return. At number 2, we have the Orphan of Cost from Bloodborne. This boss embodies chaos and tragedy with a design that feels both grotesque and heart-wrenching. The Orphan's erratic movements and unpredictable attack patterns keep players on edge, while his relentless aggression leaves little room to recover. In his second phase, the Orphan's attacks become even more frenzied, unleashing devastating lightning strikes and explosive combos. The emotional weight of the fight, combined with its sheer difficulty, makes the Orphan of Cost one of the most memorable challenges in gaming. Before we get to our number 1 pick, let's take a moment to highlight some honorable mentions. These bosses didn't quite make the top 10, but they're still insanely difficult and deserve a shout-out.
Where our sisters were violent rapids, there was a gentle stream. She healed the wounds of both mortals and...
Let's start with the Valkyries from God of War. These optional bosses are scattered throughout the game, each with unique and brutal attack patterns. They test Kratos and you to the limit. But the real challenge, the Valkyrie Queen, Sigrun. She combines all the abilities of her sisters, making her one of the toughest battles in the God of War series. Next up, the Fire Lurker from Demon's Souls. This boss is incredibly fast and deals massive fire damage, leaving little room for error. Dodging his attacks requires pixel-perfect timing, and his aggression never lets up, making him one of the most memorable foes in the Souls franchise.
I'm sure you have time for one more game, right?
Why not? After all, we share the same blood. I'll just use more of yours to undo Daddy's little spell.
So, you want a piece of me, literally? Okay, bro. Come and get it, if you can.
Virgil from Devil May Cry 3 is another fan favorite nightmare. As Dante's twin brother, his agility, precision, and devastating combos make him a tough opponent. The battle is as much about mastering your own skills as it is about figuring out his patterns, stylish but deadly. Yiazmat from Final Fantasy XII is legendary for one reason: his insane health bar. With over 50 million HP, this fight can take literal hours to complete. Add to that his devastating attacks and ability to heal himself, and you've got one of the most grueling boss battles in RPG history. Bison from Street Fighter II is infamous for his overpowered moves and brutal AI. His Psycho Crusher attack is ridiculously fast, and he punishes even the smallest mistake. Beating Bison is a rite of passage for fighting game fans. Now that we've given these honorable mentions their due, it's time to return to the main event. Let's find out who takes the number 1 spot. And at number 1, the ultimate challenge is Seph from Kingdom Hearts. This fight demands absolute precision and mastery of the game's mechanics. Seph's iconic move, Heartless Angel, reduces your health to 1 HP and your magic to 0, forcing you to react instantly. His sword strikes are fast and wide-reaching, while his magic attacks cover massive areas. The battle's pacing keeps players constantly on the edge, balancing offense and defense in a grueling test of endurance. Beating Seph isn't just a victory, it's a defining moment for any gamer. And there you have it, the top 10 hardest bosses in gaming history. Did your most dreaded boss make the list? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more epic gaming content. Until next time, keep gaming and stay awesome.